Hi, friends. Thank you so much for joining to another week of NapKim Math. Napping Ood, thank you for the hello, hello. I'm glad you're here. Um, I started off all of my streams with, I think I'm going to call it one good thing. I was inspired by Rob Talks Nonsense on Blue Sky, and he puts one good thing um, not necessarily every day, but as many days as he can think of one. And I like to start my streams on a positive note, and I love to hear your all's one good thing. Feel free to share if you have one. You don't have to. Feel free to lurk as well. But my one good thing is I received a birthday card from some family friends, and they said that they were watching my streams, and it was just so kind and so generous, and it just made me so happy. So um, I'm really blessed to have family and friends that are like my immediate family and also the family that I'm married into. Everyone is fantastic, and I'm so happy to be such a be part of such a wonderful family. So thank you, Ken and Diane. I'm going to call you out by name, but also all my other family and friends. I really appreciate you supporting me as well through this maybe crazy venture. But we will go ahead and get started. I'm going to switch things up a little bit and play the Anaglyph deck. Thank you. I really appreciate that. We're going to start the Anaglyph deck on white stake. And even though I am currently testing out my Jimbo's data, I at least like to have this information captured for all of my runs so that I can validate the output. And so on Saturday, we'll be going through that a little bit as well. So let's switch over to Balatro and get started. With Plasma Deck, I had a hard time finding scaling jokers last time, so I think we're gonna go for Anaglyph deck. And for those of you who haven't played it before, after you defeat the boss blind, you get a double tag. So it's pretty cool. You can end up racking up a lot of money, a lot of jokers, anything you like with this deck. So we'll go ahead and get started. There we go. All right, full house right off the bat, which will get us through in one hand. Very nice indeed. All right, free reroll. I think I'm going to try to build up a little bit of money and then see what we can do. So we have a 2-pair. We have 4 towards a flush. All right. We'll leave the clubs because that won't get us through in one hand. Get another flush to get us through. All right. So we could get Ride the Bus, which I'm not a fan of right now. Mars, I don't think I'm going to go for right now. Arcana packs, our reroll surplus. I think I'm going to try to build up a little bit more money and see what we can do. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of those low cards. Lots of 2 pairs. Not really what I was going for. Okay, we have another straight. And let's actually keep our spades. We have almost a flush. We don't have, we have more spades and hearts left. So I'm going to play the pair and still get rid of my 7. And we may be out of this already, but that 9 may have saved us. Sometimes trying to build up your money can have drawbacks, but a lot of times it helps you earn more interest. But I was hoping to get a better joker off the bat. I think I am going to reroll to try and get... There we go. We'll have Wrathful, which with spades and foil should help us a little bit. Alright. We could get Garbage, which would give us 3, and because we have double 6, or Juggle coming up, so I think we're not going to skip those. Alright, we have a flush, which is not spades, but it's okay. With foil, that will help. So we do have a very long straight. 8 cards in a straight. But because we have Wrathful, I am going to start at the bottom. So we get that +3. Yeah, I guess it just wanted me to play a straight. And now we have Saturn. I'll go ahead and get Saturn. And move on to the next round. So we do have a 2 pair, which isn't going to get us a lot of points right now, or a lot of chips, especially because none of them are spades, so I will get rid of those. And I'll go ahead and play this one since we only have 1 discard left, and it does have a spade. Gonna see if we can maybe get a flush. Yes. Very nice. All right. I think I'll get an Arcana pack for now. Ooh, another soul card. So, what legendary joker are we going to get this time? Yorick. So, you benefit from discarding a lot because he gains 1 in his multi for every 23 cards you discard, which is fantastic. Except the water, I can't discard anything, but that's okay. And I just tried to discard, of course, but I will go ahead and I could play the 10s, but they can be kind of vital in a lot of things. I was hoping that it'd be more geared towards a straight, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and play the 2 pair. All right. We'll play the pair of kings, and because a 2 pair won't do a ton, I'd rather keep that 7 and hope for a flush, especially with Wrathful. So I hope that doesn't... Okay. Good. That worked out. I got lucky. I'll take it. All right. We definitely need to get some more jokers and things going. So we have top-up tag coming up where we could get some jokers. We could skip for a negative tag where with our double tag we'd get since we have 2 double tags, we'd end up getting 3. So I think we'll do that. We'll go ahead and get Jolly. Let's see. We do benefit from playing a pair, but I'm gonna see if we can draw a flush. That didn't really work out so well. All right, we didn't get a flush, but we did get a full house, which is nice. And we're already helping Yorick out a little bit. All right. So let's open up a buffoon pack. Go ahead and get DNA. And what that does is, if the first hand of your round has only 1 card, you add a permanent copy to your deck and you draw it to your hand, which is nice, especially when you're trying to play some cool cards. It's really good for deck building, which I am not fantastic at, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to put my glass on my 10. And then we'll go ahead to our next round. Skip. So now we have 3 negatives coming up. And let's see. Straight is the only one we've leveled up, which is actually not that bad. For DNA, I'm going to go ahead and play my Queen of Spades. And I am going to get rid of those. So now we could play a full house with queens or 6s. We'll go ahead and play. We'll get rid of our 6s because we have raised fist. And go ahead and play our queens. And that was enough. Should have discarded a little bit more for Yorick, but that's okay. Alright, so we got a negative constellation, a negative riffraff, which isn't really going to help us out too much unless we end up getting like Gross Michael and he disappears, and then riffraff can bring us in clutch. It's especially good to keep negative jokers if they don't affect your gameplay, because if I get something like abstract joker or swashbuckler, it will add to your multi as well. Let's go ahead and get clearance sale. And then what do we have coming up? All face cards are debuffed, which isn't that bad because we don't have photograph or something like that. I'm debating getting, let's get handy to get some money and go ahead and play this big blind. So we do have a straight off the bat. I'm going to discard. Now we have a higher straight. And I'm tempted. I'm going to play that glass 10 for DNA and see if he breaks and see what happens. And he did not break, so now we have 2 glass 10s in our deck. All right. I think I am going to discard a few more cards. To try and level up Yorick. So we have 4 more we need to discard to get that. And so we should be able to get that in our next round. This is nice. Mystic Summit, negative. And even though I do like my Joker stash, especially with how much money we have, I always like to check out what's there. And let's do a couple of rerolls. Seltzer, I mean, we don't really have, we have our glass 10s, but not really anything that would benefit from having seltzer. So we'll pass on him. I think we should be just about good. And we haven't gotten anything for Constellation yet, which maybe we'll end up getting a double tag or something to help us out with that a little bit. But we'll get there. Okay, now we have Photograph, which makes me... He's not going to be super helpful for the plant, which is our next blind. But I think because I'm not much of a deck builder, I am going to get rid of DNA and buy Diet Cola to get a double tag, and then buy Photograph to see what's up. All right. So we do have a pair of queens. I think I am going to get rid of them and our 3. And now Yorick is at ×2 multi because we've discarded 23 cards. So let's see what this does. I'm going to get rid of my king as well. Alright, that gets us about halfway there, which isn't bad at all. So I'm going to discard those. And that is enough. See, the plant isn't that bad when you get it early on. Alright, what's coming up next? We have the eye, no repeat hand types. Not that bad. We could get some rare jokers or double our money. Can we go ahead and use Hermit? I think I'm going to pass. We'll get Hone to see if we get some jokers that have some additions on them. Banner, I don't think makes a ton of sense right now. Lusty might actually work in our favor more than Jolly just because we have Photograph. So we'll go ahead and do that. And we still haven't done anything with Constellation yet. Haven't seen a planet card. There we go. We'll get a planet card to make him 1.1. You never know, that could be the difference. Alright, so we do have a full house. We have 4 towards a flush. Full house is actually our highest scoring so far. So we'll do that. Put our 7s before our queens, since they both will get added to the multi. I think I should have discarded a little bit first to build up Yorick a little bit more, but it's okay. I think we got a little bit of time with him. Alright, glass card, bonus cards. Let's make our 9 a glass card. Alright, we'll get our King of Spades, since we do have Wrathful and Photograph. And level up Constellation a little bit, because the one thing that's super important is to make sure you scale. We've learned that the hard way plenty of times. Alright, so now we have a straight, we have 3 of a kind. Go ahead and play our straight, and I'll move my 10 to the front for Photograph. And we have another full house, which should get us there, so I'm going to discard what I don't need from that. And make sure my glass 10 goes last. And my 10 broke, but that's okay. We have another one from DNA. Alright. Alright, we'll get our Queen of Spades. We do have Race Fist, but because this isn't a 2 or 3, I think I'm fine with it. And because we have Constellation and we've got clearance sale, I am fine trying to level up Constellation a little bit more. And I am trying to keep a little bit more money around than usual, just because we have built it up a little bit. And I need to pay attention because we can have no repeat hand types, and I will always forget that. I'm gonna go ahead and use Hangman. Actually, I don't know if I want to use Hangman in... I think I might need to use him in a planet pack. Or sorry, not a planet pack, a Tarot pack. That way I can use my discards for Yorick. I'm hoping to get another spade. There we go. So that I can play a flush. And he has 3 left till he levels up. Let's go ahead and do that, because we do have some things we can do. I'm going to put Empress on my 7 and my King, since we do have Photograph. And that is more than enough. Alright, trading card. We're not playing that many 3 of a kinds. I mean, we are playing some full houses, but not consistently. So we do have the pillar coming up, which I think I'm going to get Director's Cut, and I might use Director's Cut because I don't love the pillar, especially this late in the game. And we will add Aura to our Queen of Diamonds. We'll go ahead to the next round. We'll re-roll. Okay, the flint. We can deal with the flint. Alright, we'll go ahead and select this. So we do have a straight. Let's go ahead and play that, and alright, that got us almost all the way there. So okay, we have 2 pairs. I'm going to get rid of, for Yorick's sake, right now we have a full house, which will do better than a 2 pair, and that should be more than what we need to get through this. So we will go ahead and play those. Yorick and Mystic Summit actually work really well together because when you have 0 remaining discards, that means that you've used Yorick to his maybe full potential. All right, a polychrome gold 10 of clubs with a purple seal. Yes, please. All right, we'll see what our spectral pack has for us. All right, gold seal, red seal, purple seal, or blue seal. All the seals. I think trance is what I usually try to do, but that also means that you have to have that card in your hand still. So I think I might put our Deja Vu on our King of Hearts. Oh yeah, we have 2. So let's do that. Let's put trance on our 7 of clubs. All right. We have 3 spades. If we get a king, we get a straight. Now we have a 2 pair. We do have a straight with 2 glass cards. Our 2 pair isn't leveled up at all, but I am actually going to get rid of those. So we do have a full house now. We also have a flush. I think I'm going to play the flush. And we will see if I think this should be enough. Because I really want to create a planet card. And flushes are a little bit more useful for me to get planet cards than full houses. All right, so we have a polychrome misprint. So I'm debating whether I should get rid of either Lusty or Raised Fist. And because Lusty and Wrathful work so well with Photograph, I think I need to get rid of Raised Fist. Alright, and we have the Flint coming up. Let's open up our Mega Arcana pack and see what happens. Alright, I am going to use Hangman now since I see 2 2s. 2 2s. And let's convert this 3 to, I'm actually going to convert it to a Queen of Hearts because of our Lusty. And I should have used Hierophant before, but we'll do that. Because I need it, because we used clearance sale, I keep thinking that I only have 1 in these packs instead of 2. So I keep forgetting. Alright, so we have a straight, which we have leveled up. I think I'm going to go ahead and play that and see what we get. We might make it through in one hand, but I don't think so. Well, maybe. Maybe we did. I should have leveled up Yorick a little bit more, but that's okay. I'm going to get our blue seal jack. And we have already played the plant, so I don't have to worry about him coming up. We do have the mark coming up, which can be... You don't know what you're going to get, but we'll see what happens. All right, so I'm going to get rid of those two. Get rid of those two, and then get rid of those two. So now Yorick is at ×4. And we're going to put change our 3 into a red seal king. And let's go ahead and play the full house. And if we get a planet card from that, that's okay. Alright, so retrigger all played face cards is super helpful with photograph. So I think I'm going to get rid of... I do want to keep misprint because he is polychrome, and I'll keep... Let's see, we do have the same amount of spades and hearts, so I'm going to get rid of Lusty just because Wrathful is a foil. And end up getting Sock and Buskin. And we'll be on our merry way. All right. So that'll be nice. I'm gonna put them right next to photograph because they're gonna be BFFs. And we'll go ahead and get our Arcana pack. Open that up. See what it does for us. All right. We will get Hermit. Get some more money. I think I will get that gold ace. Get a planet card, level up Constellation. Man, Constellation's only at 1.7. Usually I get him a lot higher. Okay, now this is super not fair. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to... I'm debating Wrathful versus Misprint. Because Wrathful does work well with Photograph, but with Hanging Chad we do need to put Photograph first. It only works well if we have, which we have a ton of, spades. So let's go ahead and sell Misprint because we do have a bunch of times multi-jokers. And so that 1.5 isn't going to help a ton, and he's a little inconsistent sometimes. So I do notice we do have some lag when we're selling jokers, so I'm going to make sure to note that for the mod updates. It is a lot better this time. There isn't as much lag as there was when we played on Tuesday, so some of the updates that I put in place have been working out well, but go ahead and buy High Priestess. It is an iterative process, still in development, so... Alright, plus 24 for Abstract would be nice, but I do think I like the combo of Wrathful a little bit more with Photograph. I'm definitely not getting rid of Yorick, or Sock, or Hanging Chad. So, it is what it is. right. I'm going to get rid of my pair. Let's see if we can get lots of face cards. There we go. I didn't want to play my blue seal jack, and so we have leveled up full house a bunch. We haven't leveled up two pair at all, and so I am going to play two pair, and with all of those, that should be well more than we need. Alright. So we can open up some standard packs. It's tempting as that ace or 8 of diamonds that's polychrome is. I think I'm going to go for the multi-jack because he'll work out well in hanging Chad. It's not really going to make too much of a difference, so I'm going to pass on those. Throwback, we've only skipped 2 blinds, so that's not going to be better than what we currently have. So, let's see. I could just try to get a bunch of face cards, and this means that we have at least a 2 pair. If I sort by suit, this means that the spades will pop up first. So if that is part of our, well, it could also be a 4 of a kind or a 3 of a kind. But if that one's played in the hand, it'll be played first. But we do have our multi-jack first, so that worked out well. And using that blue seal to get planet cards is also helping out Constellation. So we do have a ton of double tags. Let's see what's coming up. We could go into boss tag madness and re-roll a bunch of times and see what we get. I don't know how we want to. I don't know if we want to do that. Foil tag is not going to be what we want either, so we may not need to use all of those, and that's okay. We'll get Pluto just in case. Jupiter. Alright. So, I'd rather have what we already know than what we don't know and gamble with all of those, so I'm not going to skip this blind. I mean, we already have a straight there, but for Yorick's sake, I do want to discard a few more times. So I'm going to keep discarding until I get face cards, because I can. I do have a full house, so we're 1 card away from leveling up Yorick. I am going to put my queen first, play both of those, and I do want to level up my 2 pair one more time, so we won't play the full house. But we didn't need to get 400,000. Alright. Alright, lucky cards. I haven't gotten any lucky cards added to my deck this game, which is rare. So I'm glad we got a couple. You know, it's never too late to find those lucky cards. We'll be able to level up Yorick one more time, which will be really nice. And then we can make sure that really the only plus multi we need to make sure is first is Mystic Summit, which we may not even need to worry about keeping our jokers in a specific order based off of the jokers we have. Oh, there's Wee Joker, which I wish I had found in my plasma deck run the other day. That's okay. So we'll play one more round. We won't use all of our double tags up, but that's okay. And then we'll reroll down to 0 before a boss blind, just to make sure. So Yorick is now ×5, which is really nice. We do have 2 pair. All right. We will get rid of those. I could play 4 of a kind, but why not? Let's do that to save our glass 10 just in case. Got a Millie. All right, and this is nice, so we level up Constellation a few more times. All right, let's play Wheel of Fortune. Nope. All right, and then we're gonna reroll down to 0 before our boss blind, so we don't go into endless. Gross, Michael. A little too late. When I was playing on my phone the other day, I got a negative Gross Michel, which is how you say it, for the first time, and I am pretty sure, and I'm not gonna even try to rearrange these because I don't think we need to. A negative Gross Michel looks like a very ripe, overly ripe banana. 2 pair is actually higher than full house now. So we'll go ahead and do that. But I was like, he is going to disappear after one hand because he's already super ripe. He already looks like a brown banana. He's a funny one. I'm pretty sure he did as well. I think he only stuck around for 1 or 2 hands. So it made it a little bit difficult for me to want to pick him up, even though he was super helpful. All right. Nice. That was a lot better than on Tuesday, but it's all about learning. So I'll switch back to the browser, and we won. We will get the end time copy pasted, copy our seed. Now that's ended. And for those of you who have been following along, I am currently playing my mod, which will capture all this data automatically, which will be really nice. We actually played straights the most out of anything. But I am capturing this so I have something to compare it to and a failsafe just in case I need to. Oh, I missed something. 9, 22. just in case, so that way we have kind of a backup of everything. We had $3 left, no achievements, but let's see if we can remember. We had hanging chat and photograph. But this is what we're going to go through on Saturday. In our streams, we look at some of the data behind it, which is a lot of fun. And building the mod was not my intention at the beginning. I had started doing all of this by hand and realized it was very time consuming. And so I had to take a step back and realize I'm going to try and automate this. So let's see, we had hang chat, photograph, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We had 8 jokers, and I have 6. We had Mystic Summit and Sock. There we go. So yeah, it is a lot of fun, but it is something very new to me, and so I am embracing the learning, but I do know my strengths and my weaknesses, and so I'll show off a little bit more on Saturday. Oh yeah, we did unlock Yorick. I'll show off a little bit on Saturday what I've been doing since the last time I've showed the mod, because it is a lot of fun. There's still a lot of work to do, but we're making progress. All right, and I'll switch back over to Balatro. We'll play one more game. I hope you all enjoy that as much as I do, because it is definitely a fun learning experience for me. All right. Let's see. All right, we got a straight with a queen at the top, so that is enough to get through it in one hand. All right, let's see if we can build up a little bit of money. All right, now we have full house. And I don't think that 2 pair is going to be enough. Such low cards. So we have 4 hearts, 4 diamonds. We have slightly more diamonds left. So let's do that. We got a 3 of a kind, which should be enough. All right. What is our... All diamonds are debuffed. I'm going to go ahead and get Scary Face just to have something that'll help us build up our chips a little bit. Alright, so we have a flush, which is nice right off the bat. So we have 2 pair, which isn't going to be enough, especially since 2 cards are debuffed and neither are face cards. I'm gonna keep the spades around. Alright, I was trying to go for either a straight or a flush, and we got a flush. Alright, what do we have coming up? We have the head coming up, and then we have meteor tag and voucher. I'll go ahead and get Mystic Summit, and I think I'll go ahead and get Meteor as well, so we get 4 planet cards. Alright. Go ahead and get Venus and Uranus. And Saturn and Uranus. I'm still really surprised I played the most straights last time, but I guess we did play a bunch of full houses, so that also took away from the 2-pair, because I am the 2-pair queen. I am going to see if we can get a flush, and we just got another 2-pair. Let me see if I can. Alright, so we do have a flush. We also have a 2-pair with all face cards. Let's go ahead and play those, because we have leveled up the 2-pair, and we haven't leveled up the flush. Alright. The Hermit, always if I have more than $6. And we'll get Saturn. We'll get High Priestess. We'll go ahead and use those. And open up our Jumbo pack and level up Jupiter. I always try to level up my flush, my straight, and my 2-pair. Because depending on the game, I might be playing some of those more than others, but generally it's 2-pairs. Alright, so we have 4 towards a flush. I'm going to keep that queen around. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those so Mystic Summit will work. So we have a full house. Which, between Scary Face and Mystic Summit, we had enough. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and get clearance sale first. And then get Sock. And move on to the next round. Alright, so we can get Handy if we want to get $16. I think we'll go ahead and play the next round instead. Now we have a straight, which should be more than enough. Even though Mystic Summit, we didn't use up all our discards. Alright, let's open our Buffoon pack. Even Steven and Greedy. I think I'm going to get Even Steven just because it is a little bit of a higher multi than Greedy. Actually, no, let's go ahead and get Greedy. Just because a quarter of our deck is diamonds. So we should be okay with that. And that way we don't have to worry about playing high or low cards. Sorry, always gotta hydrate. Alright, we'll move Greedy over there and get our Raised Fist. When I was first playing Balatro, Raised Fist really got me through, like, a lot. A lot of my first games, let's see what our 2-pair without any face cards does. Alright, got us more than halfway there, which is nice. We'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, Raised Fist and Misprint, I think, the combination of those two got me my first win, built up my confidence a little bit, and helped me understand the game a lot more than I think I had understood it. Go ahead and get our Steel 5, even though for Raised Fist it's not fantastic. I'm going to do one reroll just because we have the needle coming up. And I think I'm good with what I have for now. Blue Joker is nice, especially on Plasma deck, but because we do have Scary Face and Sock, at least for now, I think that is a little bit of the better play. But we will see. Alright, so we do have almost a flush. We have leveled up our flush. Our straight is higher. So maybe I'll keep that. Alright. That did not do what I wanted it to do. But that's okay. Let's hope for the best. Yeah, with Mystic Summit, Raised Fist, and Greedy. I wasn't super duper concerned, but I was a little concerned. Alright. We will... I'm gonna get rid of Scary Face for Smiley Face, just because we haven't played a certain boss blind yet, and I don't want to potentially set myself up for accidental failure. Alright. I do kind of want to, there we go, we do have a straight now. Alright. I like Constellation, especially because we did get clearance sale. And we are early enough where that makes sense. I'm just debating. I think I'm going to get rid of Mystic Summit just because you have to have 0 discards left for it to be useful. So and I'm going to reroll. I was hoping that we'd find another planet card, but that's okay. Alright, we have a straight. We do have a 2 at the bottom, which is not super helpful, but with Smiley Face and Sock, we have enough. We just need to scale a little bit. Alright, I'm going to put Hierophant on a face card and a non-face card. And go ahead and use Hanged Man on 3 and our 2. And let's see what the water gives us. So 0 discards. So we got a pair of queens. I'm going to get rid of our lower cards. Alright, so we do have a full house, which is still scoring higher than our 2 pair. Right, I'm going to play the pair of 4s and get rid of some of these others. And, alright, we do have a 2 pair here. And it won't matter with the 5 because we do have a steel 5. Otherwise I would have gotten rid of it. That should be enough. Alright, what do we have coming up? The club. Okay. Let's see if we can find some other jokers. So Supernova, because we are not focusing on one type of hand primarily, I don't think makes more sense than what we have, so we'll go ahead and skip that pack. I would like to find one more times multi-joker at least, but we'll see what we can find. Some of the lag is worse than others, but we're getting there. It's not as bad as last time, and I am working through it, so it'll be good to have all this worked out. Alright, so let's get our 10 as a glass card. So we have 3 of a kind. Now we have 4 of a kind. So let's go ahead and play that. And get rid of my 2 and my 3. Really? Really? We'll play our 2 pair of face cards, and with Smiley and Sock, that should be enough. But I really need some scaling going. So because of that, I'm going to re-roll Madness. Madness is great when you find him in Ante 1, but not further down the road. I think he's a little bit too late for what we're doing. And frankly, I like getting him on runs where I have Eternal Jokers because that way they don't disappear because of him. Go ahead and play our straight. So we have a full house, which is still higher than 2 pair. We also have a flush. Full house is higher, so we'll play full house. I don't love playing my gold cards, but that's okay. I really don't want a 2 as my lowest card, but that's okay. Alright, we'll open our buffoon pack. Not worth switching things out. ahead and open this up. We'll get a blue seal wild 10. All clubs are debuffed, and that also means all wilds are debuffed. So we do have, like, even our 2-pair is going to score higher than our flush. So need to get rid of those guys. Go ahead and play our 2-pair. Let's see where that gets us. Since we don't have Mystic Summit, I don't necessarily want to get rid of all my discards on the very first hand. That's okay. Alright, so we have pair. And because I don't want my lowest card to be debuffed, I'm going to go ahead and play those instead of the aces. Alright, so now we have a full house, and it's not really going to matter because we'll win this hand anyways, but I want to make sure we play our queens. That way we optimize our points a little bit. So you got a couple more viewers. Thank you so much for joining. Feel free to lurk or feel free to chat, say hi. I like to start off my streams with the one good thing, and if you would like to share your one good thing, let me know. I would love to hear it. Let's get our spectral pack. I really don't want one less hand size with Ecto, so I'm going to put a blue seal on, or 7. And then go ahead to our next round, skip this so we get lots of money. $200. And let's see. Go ahead and get rid of those. So now we have a full house, which is still higher than our 2-pair. See if I can get rid of. Okay, good. Now I'm going to put my lucky cards on my jacks. Alright, that got us 2/3 of the way, which is nice. And we'll get rid of those. Actually, we have leveled up our flush a little bit more. We don't have very many diamonds left, so I'm not gonna hope for a flush. And let's see what happens. I know a couple people have joined after I explained this, so I'll explain it again. I'm working on a mod that tracks my data, and occasionally it lags a little bit, and so there we go. It came right back up. So if that happens, don't fret. It'll come back up eventually. We'll go ahead and play the full house. Thank you. And let's see. Unless we get lucky with some face cards, maybe. Well, I asked and I received. Because we have Smiley and Sock, gonna play the face cards instead of the aces. But yeah, it's a labor of love, for sure. It is really fun, really challenging. And so I'm excited to share more with you all this weekend on it. We'll go ahead and level up Uranus. All right, and get Overstock. All right. So I am going to get rid of Raised Fist for Hanging Chad. And going to buy every single planet card I see for Constellation, because we really need to level him up a little bit more. Thinking maybe we could go bananas, but with Hanging Chad, I don't know. Let's get rid of Greedy for Gross Michael. Gross Michelle. I know people love Showman. He always shows up at really awkward times for me. And so I usually have to pass. Just like how Madness usually shows up in Ante 8 for me. The fact that he showed up in Ante 4 or 5 was impressive. Reroll one more time. Okay. Alright, so we do have a flush off the bat. I do want to save my discards because after we play a hand, they'll all be drawn face down, so I'm gonna keep my 7s. I would kind of like a face card, but I think this will work. I do believe our 2 pair is going to be higher than our full house. In chips, yes, and multi, no. So I think I'm actually going to play the full house because having that little bit of extra multi plus 1 extra card will help. All right. So this is either a queen or a jack. And let's see if we know the suit. So it's a club. So that does not help. We'll go ahead and play these, and I'm going to put my lucky jack first just in case it's a jack and not a queen. And we'll see what happens. I did notice that some of the lag does tend to happen when things are upside down because it doesn't really know what to do. Alright, that was enough to get us through. Alright, what's coming up? Alright, the serpent. I actually like the serpent. So I'm not afraid of that. We have 2 juggles, which we could use, which we're not with our double tag. Alright. I think I am still gonna get Hermit, even though High Priestess we could have gotten a little bit more multi. We only have 1 glass card, so that doesn't make sense. We do have some options, but I'm gonna re-roll. What's gonna happen is Gross Michelle is gonna disappear on us right before the grand finale, but if we find something better in the meantime, we will get that. Alright, so we have a negative joker, which is nice. Even Steven. That was very kind. I was thinking about maybe getting Seltzer. But I think I will pass on him for now. Or her. I don't know the gender of these jokers. Alright. Actually gonna get rid of that 5. So we have a pair of queens. Which, with all of our retriggering, we almost got there. That's okay. Do we have... So we have more jacks left. So I'm gonna play my... Actually, let me play my... No, I'm gonna keep my 10 around just in case. And it's thinking hard. But with what jokers we have, this should actually get us through. Alright. We're going to turn our 4 into our lucky jack. Get a multi-king. I don't think we only have one steel card, so I don't think it makes sense to get mime. I've noticed that every time I look at my deck and then try to reroll, it freezes. So it is good to note what is happening when these freezes occur, because then it can point to a root cause and help me a little bit more as I'm debugging. But thankfully it's not terrible. Alright, Constellation, we're still scaling. Not as high as I would like, but that's okay. So I'm actually going to get rid of all of those. We do have a 2-pair. We do have a flush. I'll play our 2-pair. And then play this 2-pair, and that may be enough. Hi, yes. I have been playing for a while now, and there are a couple things that I would recommend as you're going through. For sure, make sure that your jokers are ordered left to right, where you have your plus multi first and then your times multi, because it's going to add these to your score first and then multiply, and so that way it'll be bigger. Definitely try to build up your econ, or so your money, because if you don't have money, you can't buy the things that you want, and that's where I see a lot of people struggle is they just don't have enough money for what they want to do. And try to build around like 1 or 2 hands. So like I default to 2 pairs. For me, those are the easiest to find. Other people, especially in different decks, do prefer like pairs, high cards, if they can get the right jokers for that. But it also really is around like making sure that you're playing around what jokers you have, because some will like, see, I have smiley face, so I want to make sure that, especially with Sock and Buskin, that retriggers face cards, and Hanging Chad, that I put my face card first in my hand, because you can rearrange the cards that you play as well as what's in your hand as well. So let's see. Our straight is going to be highest. And so since we've been leveling that up the most, we do have a straight. Go ahead and put our king first, since it is a smiley face card, will be retriggered by Sock, and it has the multi. And I am not going to play my glass 10 just because I want to make sure that he sticks around if we need him later on. I think we should be able to get through this in one hand. Yeah, we got double what we needed. So that was very nice. Yeah, those are my biggest tips for this. All right, nice. We'll get Meteor Tag right before Amber Acorn, and we do have some double tags, so that'll help build up Constellation. Make sure you have scaling jokers, especially your times multi-jokers, because if you don't have enough in your score, you're not gonna be able to get through, especially the higher antes. You're very welcome. Let's see. We have our pair, and we'll play one more blind and then skip right before the boss blind. Might be just rerolls in general that are causing the lag. That's okay. I will look into that more. All right. So we do have a 2 pair. I'll go ahead and play that with my Jack first, and I'll get rid of my 3 as well. And I am saving my glass card just in case we need him. All right, and let's see. We don't have any more discards, so I'm going to play my pair of 8s. And now we got our pair of 5s, and I'm going to get rid of the 6 and 9 as well. And I'm going to, because we might need it, instead of playing the pair, I'm going to play a glass king to make sure that we have enough to defeat this. All right, go ahead and buy my lucky cards. Get a little bit more money. And always check whether Temperance will give you more, especially if you have a bunch of jokers. If you get Hermit and Temperance at the same time. A lot of times I forget to check, especially later on in the run. Go ahead and use this first, then use Hermit, so if we find the Fool again, it'll produce another Hermit. Alright. Alright. Because we are on ante-8, I'm going to get rid of Mr. Banana, get Photograph to have another Photochad run. I feel like I was going to double check, but every single time I've played, I feel like every time I've won, I've had Photograph, or on almost all of them, I've had Photograph. I need to check how many times. Alright. So we are going to skip. And we'll get those. This is nice because we're leveling up Constellation just before the last blind. Alright, and because we are flipping and shuffling, actually it doesn't matter because everything is done in hand except for Constellation. So if you do want to try and be quick, you can go to your options, slow down the game a little bit, and you can click on the joker that you want to be on the far right, and hold it. So when they flip and shuffle, you know where it is. But because all of ours are plus multi except for Constellation, we don't have to worry about that, which is nice. All right, so we have 3 of a kind, almost a straight. We do have a flush. Man, our straight is bonkers. I think I am even going to get rid of our steel card to see if I could get a straight. And I'm going to put multi on my king and 10. And I'm just going to go ahead and add lucky to our ace and 8. And this should be more than enough to win this. All right, almost 1.5 million. Very nice. I will take it. And we will switch over to the browser to track the win. Because this is a good way to make sure that whatever my mod, Jimbo's data, is producing is accurate. And, all right. So our best hand was 1, 4, 2, 6, 4, 5, 3. We played 2 pair the most, surprise, surprise, 15 times. 209 cards played, 141 discards, 60 purchases, 36 rerolls, no new discoveries. I think this is the first game we didn't have any new discoveries. Ante 9, round 21. We were not defeated. We had $4 at the end. And we had no achievements. And again, we had Hanging Chad, Photograph, smiley face. There's a correlation between having those and as long as you don't encounter the plant, doing really well, especially in some of the earlier stakes. We had Even Steven, Constellation, Sock, and I think that was it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. All right. That is that. I think I am done for the evening, but I really appreciate you being here and being part of NapKim Math. I will analyze the data, check out what Jimbo's data has put in my CSVs, and on Saturday we will go through some of it. It may be more of a exploratory and maybe a little bit more like putting the data into BigQuery instead of actually like writing queries this weekend. But we'll see what we can do. I'll also probably go through the mod code as well. And so we probably won't be doing a ton of SQL. It will be more of that mod code and looking at the data and getting it into BigQuery. So look forward to that. I look forward to hearing what you all think. If you are on YouTube, please like, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. On Twitch, give me a follow. Would love for you to join me next time on Saturday at 2 p.m. for the data. And if you don't like the data, then join me on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern for some more Balatro. Thank you very much. I will see you next time.